Hi everyone, welcome you all. In this video, I'm going to show you how to send request and verify response using GroovyScript in Ready API. Now let us start. So let me open my Ready API. So here I'm going to import my SOAP project. So I have a WSDL. Let me just create file, new project, and here SOAP project one. I'm just selecting WSDL definition and say WSDL document URL. So once you say create project, which will create a new project in the SOAP UI or Ready API. So if I just go to APIs, we have a two APIs versions. I can just remove the first version. All right, so now if I just expand this calculator SOAP, here we have a 4 different operations: addition, dividing, multiplication, and subtraction. So I'm just creating a new test suite which contains one test case. So I'll say right click on this WSDL and I'll say generate test suite, and here I'm just taking only add step. I can just say okay. Now this is the name of the test suite. I can simply say test suite and say okay. So now I created one test suite. Under this we have test case, and inside this we have a test step. So this is a test step. So when I open my test step, I can say XML, and this is a request, and in the here in the XML format we will get the response. Suppose when I say some value here, let's say 10 and I'll say 20, and when I send this request, we will get the response in the XML format. Here we got the results. Now we can see how we can send the request and along with the parameters, and how we can verify the response. So this we can do by using GroovyScript. So now I'll show you how we can do by using GroovyScript. For that, what I have to do is we need to add a new GroovyScript step. So let me just right click on the test case, and we need to add a new step, add step, and here we have to select GroovyScript, and let's say have the same name, or you can just change the name. I can say okay. Now I have added GroovyScript step under my test case. So here we need to write GroovyScript, by which we can send a request and we can get the response. All right, so before that, what I can do is just go to this test case, and I will define two properties at the test case level. So these two values I need to define as a custom properties, or as a custom values 10 and 20, and we will read the data and pass as a parameters, and then we will verify the response, and everything should happen through GroovyScript only. So these values I will maintain in two different property values. I will create them at the test case level. Now select the test case, and here you can see custom test case properties. So here I am adding two properties. I say A, and I'm just giving some value, let's say 100, and I'm just adding one more B, and I'll say 200. So these are the properties I have created at the test case level. So here in the step, I'm just going to read this data here. So normally how we can parameterize the properties here is we can just go to the form, and here you can just browse it, and from the test suite, from the test case, and for this test case, these are the properties we have defined. So select this property A, just say add, and this is replaced with the parameter. Similarly, I'll get it for B also. I'll say browse and say same test suite, same test case, and B value I'm getting. I'll say add. Now, if I go back to the XML file, if I see here, this is a script which is replaced. So this particular request is getting these two values from the custom defined properties. All right. So once we pass this, when I run this request step, so we'll get the same response. So A, B values we are passing through custom properties. So now I'm going to write a GroovyScript which will read this data and pass it here, and then will capture the response and also validate. So everything should happen only through GroovyScript: request, sending request, getting the response, and validating the response. So for that, I'm just going to add some code on the GroovyScript step. So now open the GroovyScript, and here we need to write some piece of code. The first thing is we need to import two important packages. One is com.eviware.soapui.support.XmlHolder. Basically, this particular class will hold the request or a response in the XML format. And the other one is com.eviware.soapui.impl.WSDL.testCase.testRun context. So this is required to add assertions to our response. And once we imported these two packages, now we need to first work on a request. So we'll see how to send request, and then we will see the response. So how to send a request. And here I'm just going to write some piece of code. So how to send a request. So first thing is we'll define a variable called, I'll say XML request. I'll define a variable called XMLReq, and this will hold XML request. So how we can get, I'll use one method called testRunner class. I'll say testRunner dot from the test case dot test steps. Which step we need to get here? Add step. So if I just look at here, under test suite test case, we have an add step. So that we have to specify. So my test step name is add. And from this, we need to get property value is request. I'll say get property value. The property value is here. We need to pass one parameter called request. So what this statement will do is, this particular statement will get you the request and store that into this particular variable. This is XML request. So now what we have to do is we need to get the custom properties which we have defined under custom properties, a and b values at the test case level, right? And these two values we have to get through GroovyScript, and we have to pass them as part of your request. So now I'll show you how to get those properties. For that, we have to say testRunner dot from the test case dot, the method is get property value. So get property value of, I'll say a. So this particular statement will get the value of a from the custom properties. I'm saving that into a variable. I'll say def a. And similarly, I'll write one more statement which will get the value of b. So I'll say b here, and you can say definition b. So now I got a as well as b. Now we need to pass these two values as part of your request. So for that, what we have to do is we need to create an object of XmlHolder. And for that, what I can do is I can just define one more variable. I'll say sample XML request. And this is just XML request we got from the step and property values request. We need to actually form the final request, including these parameters. So sample XML request equal to, we have a method called XmlHolder. So here we have to pass this variable. So whatever XML request we are getting, that we have to pass. And now we need to use this particular variable to set a and b as part of your request. Now I can say sample XML request dot set node value. And here we have to write XML path of the variable. If I just go back to the add step, exactly here we have to substitute that value. So if I just look at here, you can see namespace is already available. So you can simply say temp add. And before that, there is a namespace. So we can write some all XML path to get this code. I say // and I can say temp add. You can directly jump here, this node. Inside this, we have a temp colon intA. So here we have to pass this value. So these two nodes we need to specify as part of XML path. So here I'm writing // temp colon add column. So this is a one tag. Inside this, we have again temp column int a is a step. So temp colon int a. Sorry, here we say lowercase letters. Temp colon int a, and this is a parameter. So we have to pass the value inside this particular node / temp colon add colon temp colon int a, and here we have to pass that value. So that value is a, small a. So that value we already captured here. And similarly, we need to also, so we have to pass this set node, and we have to set another node. So that is b, int b, and here we have to pass a b value. So with this, we have passed this a and b values as part of the request. And then we have to form the final XML file. We have just captured the request here. We have associated the parameters with this request. Now we need to make a final XML. Then we have to send that as a request. So for that, we have to define a variable def. I'll say final XML equal to, we already have sample XML request. From that, we need to get XML. So we need to get XML. This is a method. And once we get the XML, again, we can store the whole XML request as part of variable. I'll say def, we already created final XML variable. So this we have to pass as part of the request. So for that, we have to write a statement called testRunner.testCase.testSteps. And what are the test steps we have to run? Add. So these are test steps we have to run. So this I'm going to store in another variable. I'll say def add request test. And now we need to create a visual document. So we need to get the context. So this is a step which we have to execute, and that step we have stored in add request. And now we need to write a context. So we can say I need to give one variable. Let's say def context add request, and I'm just creating a variable. So this variable is an instance of new visual testRunner context. testRun context, and here we have to pass this add request step. Now we need to run this one. So this is a complete request, and say context add request test, that we need to pass as one parameter. So this one, so there are two parameters, testRunner and context add request test. So these two we have to pass into one method, that is add request test dot run. So add request test, so dot run, and here we have to pass two arguments. One is testRunner, and the second one is context add request test. So these are the two parameters which we have to pass. So first parameter is a testRunner, second parameter is a context add request test. So this is the one. Now this will go and send the request to the server, and this is the whole code which we have to write, which will send the request to the server by passing these arguments. Okay, so now let us test this. So currently we have, if I just go to the test case level, 100 and 200 we have. So I'm just going to change 10 and 20. Okay, so now go and execute this GroovyScript. If I just run it, and there is an error, and no signature of method get property value. So digital test case pro dot get property value. So we have given something wrong here. So which line number it is giving? So line number 8. And if I just look at 8, okay, so this is a spelling mistake, get property value. So these are the spelling mistakes. So get property value. Okay, so let's execute once again, just run it. So it is saying missing property X, no such property, add request test for class, line number 22. So line number 22, add request test dot run, and the test runner is one parameter, and context add request test. So if there are any spelling mistakes, it will not run. So we need to cross check. So this we have to pass as a second argument, and test runner. So add request test dot run, add request. This is just add request we created. Okay, so let's run once again, and it is still saying line number 22 is an error. So we have to cross check once again. Okay, so here this small spelling mistake I have just replaced. Okay, so now I have just replaced this one with the correct spelling. This is the correct spelling. So now let me run this again. When you run this, you got this message. So there is no error. So your request is successfully executed. So now if I just go back and see your step, and you can see 30 here. The result is 30. So we have passed A and B value 10, 20. We got the 30 here. So fine. So this till here we have just send a request. Now once you send a request, we will get the response. So we need to also verify that response. Now I'll show you how to verify the response. verify XML response. So to verify XML response, again we need to first here we have get the property of the request. So similarly here we have to get the property of the response. So here we instead of request I'll say response, right? So add get property value of response from the same test runner, same test case, test step. So here I'll just change the variable name. So here I'll say add XML response. So this is just a variable I created. Now we need to have this XML into an object. So we need XmlHolder. So here we have just created this one. After getting this, here we have created XmlHolder. So similarly, here also we need to create XmlHolder, new XmlHolder. But instead of passing request, we have to pass a response, whatever response we captured here. And that we have to store in another variable. And this is XML response. So I'm just defining a variable called add XML response final. So now what I have to do is whatever the response we captured, that response we have stored in this particular statement or this particular variable. Okay. Now, after that, from this XML response, we need to extract the result, the final result. So for that, I'm just defining a variable. I'll say def response value we have to capture. So def response value equal to add response final. So take this object dot, we have to use get node value. So this is the method we have to use. So here to set the value, we have used this particular method. If you just look at above, so request.set node value, because we are passing this data along with the request. But this time we have to extract that value. So get a node value, because this is a result. We already got the result. So we have to get that value. So here we have to pass XPath. So if I just go to the step again, so here this value we have to extract. And this value is present under add results. I'm just writing an XPath to capture this. So for that, I'm just writing one XPath here. In the double quotation // star. Star is representing, it is matching with all kinds of namespaces. So I can say directly the node name add result. And this will get the actual result and store that into this particular variable. Now, so let us run this again. So once you run this, now we can see this is a result value which is displayed, 30 as a result value. Perfectly fine. So now we have successfully sent the request, and also we got result into response value. So now we need to add some assertion. So whether the response value is correct or not. So for that, what you have to do is, let us try to modify something here. So when I send the request, we are passing this particular data to the request as part of the request. And if I add these two values here, that should be equal to the response value, right? So here what I will do is I will just add these two values. How to add these two values is I'm just defining A and B already defined, right? So what I can do is here, these values are in the string format. So we have to, if I want to add them, we need to convert that into integer and then we can add. So I will define two more variables. It is just for assertion. So I'll say int aval equal to a dot to integer. So this particular method will convert this a value to the integer. Similarly, I'll define one more variable. I'll say bval and I'll say b dot to integer. So this will also convert the value into a, b integers. Both are integers. All right. Suppose if you want to add them, I can simply say log.info. This will print the output in my console window here. Log.info, I'll say aval plus bval. So this will print the output here. So when I run this, now you can see here we got the 30. So that means both are converted into integer. I'm just printing this value here. Now, whatever response we are getting here, that should be equal to this one, right? So here I'm going to add one assertion. So how to add assertion? So here we have a keyword called asset. I'll say asset space, take this response value that is also in string format. So we need to convert this into integer. I'll say dot to integer, and that should be equal to this one, aval plus bval, which you already converted in integer. So whatever response value we are getting, converting into integer, and here whatever values we are passing a and b, again we have converted them into integer. So if both are equal, my assertion will pass. So we have sent a request, and here we got the response, and we have inserted one assertion. So everything is done through GroovyScript. Now let us run whole thing. When I run this, so this is giving 30, perfectly fine. So this assertion got passed. Now I will run the whole test case. So go to the test case. Now I have run this test. Now it is executed successfully and passed. When you go to the transaction step, now you can see here my Groovy test got passed here. So this is how we need to write a Groovy script to send a request and get the response and validate the response by adding assertion. All right. So that's all for this video, guys. Thanks for watching.